Kathryn Simone, and I'm first going to show you how to get to my article that I chose. So first you want to go to modules, then to course resources, then to JCC library history resources. Then you're going to want to scroll all the way down to historic North Carolina digital newspaper collection. Then you're going to want to type in, well, I chose the Donner Party. So you're going to want to type in to find the article. And then you want to put the date set as 1840 to 1870. Press enter. Then scroll down to Carolina Watchman, page 2, Thursday, November 21st, 1850, Salisbury, North Carolina. And then right here is my article, which I chose that's titled News from the Plains. So I chose News from the Plains because of westward expansion and the hardships that the immigrants faced from the westward expansion, like the journey, specifically to California, but to the West Coast in general. Because I was interested in how news of the westward expansion was addressed and on the East Coast, and like the public awareness of it in 1850. And since I was interested in the Donner Party beforehand. I had done previous research, but when this topic was brought back up again, I decided to look through some other newspaper articles. That's like in the 1850 range, like from 1847 to 1852. Um, but there's not really articles such as this one. And that's what made it stand out to me because out of the ones I found in the South specifically. And it just really made it much more significant, and it showed how information was shown to people at the time. And then the title of the article itself, News from the Plains, just shows it's almost like I guess you could say grim in a way of how the people of their journey to California. According to one of the quotes in there, right here, if I can scroll in, September 12th, like Great Meadows, Humboldt River, September 12th, from Captain Waldo. Um, he states that he met many whom he had given up to die, others without food, save the worn-out horses which had borne them thus far on the way to California. Some were living on dead and putrid horseflesh. Some had died from starvation. This in itself is grim, and it just further relays the fact of the title being grim itself. It also states in there that nearly all of them are traveling on foot, the horses and mules having given out. And it also reports about the large amount of immigrants that were stuck. If you go scroll down here, 15,000 of this number are now destitute of all kinds of provisions, yet the period of the greatest suffering has not arrived. If the supposition be correct, that 25,000 are yet back of the sink, it will be morally impossible for 10,000 of this number to reach the mountains before the commencement of winter, and the probability is that they will then find these mountains covered with snow, from 5 to 20 feet deep. All remembers the fate of the Donner Party. And the article, like, essentially warns that many will never reach them. Like I'm sorry. It warns the people on the East Coast of the perils these people face, and even like almost the desperation because they're probably not gonna make it to the mountains before winter comes, just like the Donner Party did, and probably will meet the same fate the Donner Party did. And this article reveals about society in 1850 was that um people across the country, even far from the West, were following the fate of these immigrants, which suggests a widespread interest about the expansion because everyone wanted the gold. They wanted to be in the gold rush, and that's why most people moved to California. I mean, not just for the gold, but that was the main focal point. They wanted freedom. They wanted a better life for themselves, which is one of the main reasons people came to America at that time. But for those who were already in America and weren't happy with their lives, what moving west was almost like a way to revitalize that dream, the American dream. Um, the one thing I like about this article is that it doesn't glorify anything. It's very upfront, it's very straightforward, and it gets to the point. It tells you everything these people have been through, all their hardships, all their perils, and that's the one thing I appreciate about it. And it's almost even sympathetic towards those who suffered from the westward expansion. Because if you go right here, many women are on the road with families of children who have lost their husbands by cholera and who never cross the mountains without aid. I've met intelligent packers who left the Missouri River on the 1st of July. They concur in the statement that there are yet 20,000 back of the desert. And the reality is that stories like this, um, they suggest that there's a division between the reality and like the American dream that I was talking about just a moment ago. And it's very like it's a I'm sorry. It's a very clear difference. It's not uh it's showing these people they wanted the American dream and this is what they got, which was the hard, cold truth. Um and it just shows the desperation of the people, of these immigrants and these large amounts of people willing to risk everything. Like people were just leaving everything they had known, everything like their loved ones, their things, and they were just going. They're just going west. And it just shows like the economic pressures in the east, even like the social pressures that people faced at the time, and they just wanted a better life. Um, so this weekly newspaper, it was published in Salisbury, NC. You know, as I mentioned a while back, it reflects not just the news North Carolina was receiving, but just like national news because um, although this article is significant to North Carolina, there's others along the eastern seaboard that are similar to sort of this one in a way. Not quite to not quite similar, but close enough. And so what I learned from this article and the research I had done before and after the fact is that um unlike a textbook where it's just, facts, like this is facts for sure, no doubt, but it's sympathetic and it's like, it's just, um, it's very, human, I guess. To describe it, it's like very sympathetic. Um, and it shows the cost these people faced of moving west, of seeking a life that they wanted. And it just shows the lengths people are willing to go to get what they dream for. Um, and it's, I mean, it's not just about pioneers though. It's about families risking everything, like risking starvation, risking their own demise. But they're doing it for each other. They're doing it for what could be. But this newspaper isn't just um isn't just events. It's also their social attitudes at the time in 1850. Um, it shows that like people in North Carolina were worried about these immigrants. Otherwise, they wouldn't have posted this whatsoever. And it just um it brings me almost sort of an appreciation um for the public concern and the consciousness at that time. And that's it. Thank you for your time.